Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought it would be fun to show you guys my top 5 thrifting finds. But before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and ring the bell so that you get notified every time I post a video. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed and comment down below what is your favorite thing you have ever found at a thrift store. And let's get into it. Alright, so before I actually start the video, I just have to tell you something really cool that I found out today. So I mentioned in my About Me video that a place I wanted to visit was the location that inspired the 100 Acre Wood. And I misspoke because I think I said it was in New Zealand. It's not. The Lord of the Rings movies were filmed in New Zealand, but the real 100 Acre Wood is in England in this place called Ashdown Forest. And it is the location where a lot of the Christopher Robin movie with Ewan McGregor, a lot of that movie was filmed in there. But the 100 Acre Wood is a very real place. And there is a Winnie the Pooh house. It was on Airbnb and there were 2 one-night stays up for grabs. Sadly, this was in 2021 and I missed out. But I'll insert a picture or two here somewhere because there is a Winnie the Pooh house complete with a shelf of honey pots, which is just so cool. And there is the real original Pooh Sticks bridge that you can walk on and play Pooh Sticks. What I had not realized was that not only, of course, the Pooh Sticks bridge was inspired by a real bridge somewhere, but it was a real bridge that A.A. Milne played Pooh Sticks on with his son Christopher Robin, and I think that's pretty rad. That bridge fell apart in the 90s and they recreated it and built a replica. But yeah, basically all of this is real and you can go on a paid tour and see it all, and there's a Pooh shop with all kinds of Pooh souvenirs and you can get breakfast and tea, and then you can go see the Pooh Sticks Bridge and parts of the real 100 Acre Wood in Ashdown Forest. So I just thought that was very important to tell you guys, and yes, I'm going one day when my bank account allows. I'm going. So yeah, comment down below if you think that would be cool. Okay, let's get on with the video. Sorry guys, I just had to share that. Okay, so on to my top 5 thrifting finds. So we are going to be doing this countdown style from number 5 all the way up to number 1. So the number 5 item, the item in 5th place, is these Coca-Cola glasses. And you know me, if you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you know that I love Coke. And you might be wondering why these are so low on my countdown. And that's because these are a pretty common item. But what was cool about them was that they were $1 a piece at a thrift store. And I did have a couple more of these, but they broke. So, and then I seen these at an antique shop and they were $18 a piece. So I think the cool part is that not that I found this at a thrift store per se, but just the fact that they were only $1. I think that's the cool part. And then my other items are a little bit cooler than this, so that's why these were at the bottom. So, and on to my next item, number 4, these orange Converse high tops. And again, you might be thinking they're just Converse, those are very common. Yes, but to find them in good condition in your size at a thrift store for $5 instead of $60, that's pretty dang cool if you ask me. So yeah, these are my size, which is, I don't even know what size they are, guys, but they are my size. They're probably a 4 or a 5. Wait, let's see. They're a 4. Yeah. I have really tiny feet. And I don't know if this is true for everybody, but the more expensive the shoe is, like the smaller the size I typically need, and the cheaper the shoe is, I usually need a bigger size. So there you go. So these are definitely really cool. And yeah, I love them. All right, so my next item, place number 3, is this skirt. This is a music note print skirt, which is pretty rad. I've seen stuff like this before, but I've never really known like where to find it or where to look, and I found this at a Goodwill. It was probably like $4 or $5. So this is pretty rad. The only thing I will say about it is some of the music notes are upside down. You've got like a treble clef without the dots, or sorry, bass clef without the dots. Yeah, so it's kind of, there's some inaccuracies there. Also, I did try to make sheet music out of this. I was going to transcribe it in Finale Notepad and make a song called An Ode to Goodwill, because that's where I bought this, but I realized a lot of it was very repetitive. You have like a phrase here, and then like it's gonna be repeated in the next line pretty quickly, pretty soon. It's repeated too much to really make much of a song out of it, which was disappointing. I was gonna have to do more composing than I'm really able to do. But yeah, this is very cool. And this might be what I wear for an upcoming piano recital I have for my students. So we'll see. Okay, so our next item in place number 2 is this clown mug. Okay, so I have a story behind this. Basically, when I was 8, my parents took me and my brother to the Barnum and Bailey Circus, and he wanted to get me a snow cone. My parents didn't want to spend the money. It was like $8 for a snow cone. Like, food at places like that is really expensive, but my brother insisted we were gonna have this snow cone. So he bought the snow cone. It came in this fun souvenir clown mug. So I know what you're thinking. I thought you said you got this at a thrift store. This is the original clown mug that my brother purchased the snow cone in. And I know what your next question is gonna be. This looks really dirty. What happened to it? Why didn't you wash it? Whatever. So basically, about 3 years after the circus, I was 11 years old. My house burned down. And for those of you wondering, we're all fine. We lost our dog, but other than obvious, emotional damage from the experience, we're all fine physically, other than, losing our dog and all our stuff. Like, we're fine. We don't know how the fire started. We think it might be electrical, but we're not sure. But yeah, so this was one of the things that was rescued out of the rubble from the fire, and my mom likes to say that it's as if God held out his hand and said, "Here, I know this was special to you," and allowed us to keep certain things. And if you want a full story time on the house fire stuff and how that went down, comment down below if you want to know more, and I'll do a story time about it. It's, I'm cool to talk about it, and it was a learning, growing experience besides all the trauma. So yeah, if you guys want a story time on that, then just comment below and I'll think about doing one. But yeah, so this is the original. It is yucky from smoke damage. That's why it's dirty. So I just saved it for, memory's sake all these years. And then in, I think 2017, I was at a local thrift store, which this thrift store provided us with a lot of stuff after our house burned down initially. including some special items from my childhood and my brother's childhood that we had held on to that were lost in the fire. So it was one day, it was probably sometime in the summer of 2017, I am thrifting there, just looking to see what they have, and I found this mug, and it was only 50 cents. And of course I bought it, and I showed it to the cashiers, and I know they're probably thinking, who's gonna want this, you know, when they put it out for sale. I'm sure they're wondering who's gonna want it. So I basically told them, I said, I used to have this, and you know, my house burned down, blah blah blah, and it just made their day that it fell into the right hands. And yeah, so there you go. And yes, I know he's kind of creepy looking. I mean, it's a clown, for crying out loud. I know it's kind of creepy looking, but I just love the story behind these mugs. And yeah, and I know I've been asked, why don't you throw away the old one now? You can throw it away. But I love the story behind having both of them. It's just, I don't know, it's just a treasure to me to have both. So there you go. Okay, and my number one top item, the hands down the coolest thing I have ever found at a thrift store ever, is this fish tank lamp. Is this not so cool? So basically, yeah, it lights up and has sound effects, and let me turn it on for you. And the fish spin around. I'll let you get a good look at that. So there you go. And it's got a dial, so you can turn down the sound effects. Now, when I bought it, it was broken and the fish didn't spin. And my brother kept telling me, this really looks like the fish are supposed to spin. And I was just like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. And he kept reiterating it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe you're right. So I unscrewed it in the back and I opened it up, and sure enough, there was a motor in there, and something was disconnected, or the motor was broken, and I was able to just go on Amazon and buy a new motor. So I wasn't able to find the exact same motor. It was like a different model number, which we looked into it and determined all it would really do is make the fish spin a little slower. But honestly, this is a good speed anyway. So my brother fixed it for me. Shout out to him. He was able to like solder the new motor in and everything, and it looks just great. And it's so much more fun now that the fish spin. And what I love about it is it's like a sheet of plastic that's glued together. So it's got these two rods, and the plastic is wrapped around them, and it spins, and you can hardly see the seam of where the plastic is connected, so it's not really that easy to see, which is good. And then the fish are painted on the front of the plastic as well as the back, so that when they rotate around, it's not like you're seeing the back side of the fish or the wrong side of the fish, if you know what I mean. They still look good on both sides, and it's like three-dimensional with the layers. So you've got them in the front, and then you've got them in the back. So I mean, it's kind of cheesy, but I really love it. And there's a little ding in the bottom corner, but frankly, I could care less. The only con, I guess I would say, is if you hang it up on the wall, then you've got the cord hanging down that you can kind of see. Plus, it doesn't really make that great of a night light, because the blue light, it's not a blue light, but it's like borderline fluorescent, and I'm really sensitive to that because it can give me headaches. I find it to be very headache inducing if this is the only source of light. So I can't sleep with it on for nightlight, and it's either on or off. You can't turn out the light and just have the ocean sound effects, which is annoying because I would love to go to sleep with just the ocean sounds. But yeah, this is probably, like, I've never seen anything like this before. And if you Google and try to find like fish tank lamp online, you're not gonna find anything similar to this. You're not gonna find anything else with like moving fish parts. So this is really rad. I don't even know what brand this is. It says UL on the back, so maybe that's it. Moving picture light. But yeah, this is pretty much like the coolest thing that I've ever found at a thrift store. And yeah, there you go. All right, and I do have an honorable mention for this video because I realized right when I was about to film, I was like, oh, here's this one other thing I probably should have included. But I didn't want to revamp the whole order of things and take anything out because I already picked which items I was going to show. So this is going to be an honorable mention, and that is this adorable little piglet. Look how cute this is. This is hands down one of my favorite piglets that I have. Just look how cute. Look at his little face. Guys, I love him so much. He's perfect. The shade of pink is perfect. Some piglets, I'm sorry, their ears are way too dark. Their mouths are like bright red. He's just got the perfect coloring, and he has Disneyland and Walt Disney World on his tag. And he's tag's kind of old, so I think this is really old because I haven't seen it at any of the Disney stores. I've never seen this one. It's got a little loop-de-doo thing to hang him. I've been so tempted to hang this from my rearview mirror in my car, but I don't want him to get faded from the sun, so I haven't bothered. But I got this at the same thrift store where I got the clown mug. They used to have these little grab bags with toys, and it was like 50 cents for a little bag, and they would just put like little Happy Meal toys or whatever, and they would just kind of group them accordingly. So this was in the bag, and I don't remember what else was in there, but if you have watched my channel for any amount of time, I think you know, at least if you watched the About Me video, you know that I love piglets and I collect them. So this was definitely another top item, and he had to get an honorable mention in here. So yeah, there we go. You wanna help me do the outro? Okay, it's gonna help me do the outro. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and stay subscribed to my channel and ring the bell so you get notified anytime that I upload. And Piglet says to comment down below if you have whatever your favorite item is you've gotten at a thrift store. And yeah, that is about it. I will add the other items. The piglet and the clown mugs came from a cheap thrift store where I used to live in Virginia, and everything else came from Goodwill. So yeah, there you are. So yeah, that is it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.